You're watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
Welcome back to the program. I'm Roby Brock. Glad to have you with us. I'm joined now by Grant Tennille. He is the chairman of the Democratic Party of Arkansas. Good to see you.
For another day.
For a little bit longer. So you're not running again for chairman of the Democratic Party.
I am not running again for chairman of the Democratic Party.
If drafted and elected, you will not serve. Is that the way it's going to roll?
There may be some effort, and I will resist as best I can.
Why are you not running again?
It's been one of the most incredible years of my life. We have accomplished so much. We have built a small but mighty team that is getting things done for Democrats and for Arkansans. I think, best we can tell, I'm the only person to ever attempt to be both the chairman and the executive director of the Democratic Party of Arkansas. And having done it now for a year, I can tell you it's a bad idea.
All right. So you're going to go be the executive director of the party is what you're telling me?
No, not necessarily, although that has been discussed as well. I need a rest. Yeah. I need a little bit of time off to recharge and figure out what will happen next. But as I've told my friends over there, I'm not going far. Yeah. I'm still a Democrat. Yeah. And they can count on me for help when they need it. And I may even find a way to get involved again in the future, but it's just been a heck of a year.
Yeah. You said that you feel like that you guys have made some gains in some areas. Tell me where you feel like you have improved the situation.
Well, we're starting to see some folks holding local races that they weren't expected to hold, and we've seen some folks win some local races that they weren't expected to win. So we're starting to see that in some local geographies in Arkansas, we're still very strong. Mm-hmm. And outside even of the urban geographies of Little Rock and Northwest Arkansas, there's lots of work left to do.
Well, I'd say there is, and I'll play devil's advocate with you here. The State House went from 76 to 82, mm-hmm. and the State Senate went from 26 to 29. Some of that's redistricting,
right.
But
most of it's redistricting. We lost one incumbent race.
But I would guess I would argue, are you making progress?
Oh, not there. Yeah. No. Okay. I mean, I didn't say that. The legislature's still tough for us. Yeah. I am incredibly pleased with what we saw in two races very specifically, in the McGee race and in the Whitaker race.
Conway and right outside of Fayetteville.
Conway and right outside of Fayetteville. Yeah. Those had been redistricted to be tough for us. And in both cases, through incredibly hard work, those guys held on. Proud of them, proud of the people that helped them. Those were great victories. We also, there were some places where we probably got a little closer than anybody expected, Benton County being one of them. Mm-hmm. And so, we know we've got a ton of work left, and multi-year work. But I think that the party is focused, like it hadn't been in a long time, and beginning to organize itself in a way that it will have an easier time fighting.
I want to ask you about one more race before we get to some of what you're talking about there in terms of this future for the Democratic Party. Chris Jones, admirable candidate for Arkansas governor. I know you were very high on his candidacy and helping him. At the end of the day, it wasn't close.
No.
It didn't even probably meet expectations, which I think a lot of people were expecting him to at least bump against 40, and he got 35. Why is that?
He got outspent radically. In fact, Democrats, and this is a preliminary number because we haven't seen all of the FEC reports yet, but we're looking at maybe we got outspent as badly as 75-1.
75-1, and you couldn't pull a victory out of the hat somewhere.
And that's my point. And I keep telling people the only people who win 75-1 races where they've been outspent are in the movies. Yeah. That doesn't happen in real life. And so, and Chris and I have talked extensively. And one of the things we're positive of is we need more organizers on the ground. That could have bumped him. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't have taken him to victory, but it might have gotten him closer to the numbers that you're talking about. Right. And then we've got to raise money. Yeah. And truly, and it's interesting, I think that the knock on any candidate in Arkansas that they're getting their money from out of state is getting ready to go away. because everybody's getting their money from out of state now.
I know in polling it has never registered as a mover for voters on that. So they think all money is bad is where it comes from, whether it's in state or out of state.
Even if it's theirs.
So to me, I think that part of the problem for the Democratic Party of Arkansas is it is easily tied to the national Democratic Party brand. How do you rebrand the state Democratic Party to not have the anchor, the albatross of the National Democratic Party, which just does not play outside of urban, suburban Arkansas?
We tried this time, and we will continue to. Obviously, we've got to focus on issues of importance to Arkansans, education being one of the very first.
But does it break through just if there's a D after the name? I mean,
it may not, and that's what we've got to figure out. But the one thing that we do know, there are a whole lot of people in Arkansas who don't vote at all.
Yeah, it was only 50% turnout, a little over 50.4.
Right. Well,
so what do you do when you look at those numbers? Where are they not voting? I mean, how do you feel like that are they Democratic voters, or are they? We don't know what kind of voters they are.
A whole bunch of them, we don't know what kind of voters they are.
Yeah.
They're registered and they've never voted. And so we don't have any of that voting history that normally indicates to us this person is a soft D, a hard D.
Is it geographic? Can you look at where some of that is?
I think it's spread out all over everywhere. Mm-hmm. I think when we get all the numbers back, we are going to see that Eastern Arkansas undervoted even more than usual this time.
Well, it was a midterm year too, which typically you don't have this high a turnout in the presidential election.
But I think it's going to be real low.
Yeah.
But I'll give you an example that somebody gave to me the other day. There are 100,000 voters in Benton County that don't vote. They're registered and they don't vote. If we could peel off 7% of those people, you win everything.
Or you might boost some Republican turnouts.
Yeah, you might.
All right. Lastly, it's been a fairly decent week for Democrats nationally up until Friday, maybe. I mean, you get the Warnock victory in Georgia. Kirsten Sinema changes to independent status. Just looking at this through a national lens, where do you think the Democratic Party is? Where do you think Joe Biden is nationally?
You know, it appears that Biden gets stronger and then he gets weaker, and then he gets stronger and then he gets weaker. And so much of it, as you and I have discussed, particularly the stuff based in the economy, doesn't really appear to have any basis in fact, but it works as a message. And so he's been struggling with that. But I think if you look at his accomplishments, it's hard to deny, unless you're a strong Republican, that he's been the president we've needed right now.
Yeah. All right. We'll see where it goes. Grant Tennille, Democratic Party of Arkansas chairman, briefly. As of this airing, not chairman anymore, but we'll see if they pull you back in.
Exactly.
Just like
I'm the Michael Corleone of the Democratic Party of Arkansas.
All right.
Thanks, Roby.
Thank you so much. All right. We're back with more right after this.